Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of 20-something. I am your host, sort of, Victoria, but you can also call me GhostyStuff. With me, I have Erin, also known as Pages of Erin, Will, also known as Salsaclubpresident, and our boy Nick, also known as Cartoon Nickname, and today we'll be talking about shitty live action, starting off with the Powerpuff Girls live action, so Nick, get on there, king!
Okay!
I'm gonna pull up.
Oh, don't worry, I got you. I got you.
No, we're doing a live reading of that.
Stick it in the chat.
Okay, so let me just say.
I was actually gonna suggest that last week as a joke.
I've been wanting to go off about this for a while, cause like Powerpuff Girls, when I was a kid, that was like the one Cartoon Network show I was always able to watch fully after coming home from school, and I really liked it. And I own the complete series. Can I just say real quick, 10th anniversary. I bought like a copy at Walmart for $35. The discs were messed up. I bought another Amazon version to try and get them fixed. They also had the same problem.
No.
I don't know what the fuck is wrong with that. Cartoon Network, please re-release just the original show, nothing else. But like, I still.
Sorry, I'm.
Don't.
Sorry, I'm reading some screenshots of the script.
Jesus Christ.
Bloss, wake up, or we'll leak your news everywhere. That worked on you once.
Who was it who said that? Was that Blossom or Buttercup?
Buttercup.
Buttercup, the same woman who like threw paste in a kid's face and was like pressured and essentially became a bully because it was the hip jive thing to do, because that's what happens when you're a fucking kid.
Nick, you
and
need to go off because I have a point I really need to make all of a sudden.
What the hell were you thinking, turning characters who are supposed to be canonically in kindergarten and are also like some of the most beloved female heroes both by women and men, because like kids who are male who grew up with that show fucking love it because it was smart, it was funny. There was an episode about toxic feminism before like Ghostbusters and Charlie's Angels came out, and it nailed it on the head. It had like so many great things, it had so many great characters, and you just great villains. Mojo Jojo, fucking God bless him, fucking him. I can only imagine how CW is gonna try and do him. How the hell you do that in a quote-unquote gritty adult remake? Like,
okay,
you're gonna fuck.
But they're trying to make this gritty adult remake, but like you've seen the outfits. They just use the same fucking weird like animated dresses that they had. That's not how an adaptation should work. They should have, you know, human normal clothes that match their color schemes. Like not preschool girl dresses.
Like the gritty. At least with like Man of Steel and Zack Snyder's Justice League, like the Superman suit actually is darker toned and more realistic.
And I love that. Like it was good. But whatever they're trying to do, it's like they're like, oh no, we have these outfits to make it seem like something original. No, that's not how you do it. You stick true to the source material, but admit that your characters are older and they have like fashion tastes.
It feels like the Winx Club remake, like live adaptation all over again, and it's gonna crush my soul, because when that came out, oh my god, I was excited sort of when I heard about, oh yeah, we're gonna make a live adaptation of Winx Club. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Alright, that seems interesting. I saw what they were gonna do. I'm like, you've replaced half the cast, whitewashed half of them, like, destroyed their characters. Everyone's an asshole to each other. Like, what? And, like, Bloom is just a bitch. And you know that's gonna be the case with Powerpuff. He's not a likable person.
Who's not? Who's just a bitch? Bluffles? Buttercup?
All of them. Probably.
All of them? Like, I'm just looking at a bit on Twitter and saying, why? Because she's the one who killed Mojo. I mean, MoveOn.org. Okay, 1, MoveOn.org, bad pun. 2, you killed Mojo? You killed fucking Mojo?
I'm willing to bet that he's not dead, and it's gonna be like he's gonna be like the secret big bad who you think is dead the entire time.
In the live action?
Oh no, I actually survived.
You don't know?
Yeah.
That he's a human in the live action?
No, in the live action, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, human?
That's not
Wait,
right.
what?
He's
in the live action.
That's not right.
What?
That's not right.
He's a human.
What?
I think they made him a human with a pet monkey, is what it was.
Yeah.
That is so stupid. Wait, it's gonna... Okay, then you know what I bet is gonna happen? The season finale... I'm gonna call it right now, unless this was already leaked. The season finale... Okay, The season is going to be, they think they killed Mojo Jojo, but somehow he put his mind in the monkey. Like, I'm willing to bet that's what's going to happen. I'm so confident.
How the hell are they going to do, like, the whole recreation thing?
I have no clue.
Like, because the whole story of, like, the reason why Professor Utonium bumped into the Chemical X was because Mojo threw a fit.
Yeah.
Like, that was the whole joke.
Buttercup, I'm not wearing that dress anymore. It's compulsory heterosexuality. Blossom, take it up with Dad. What the fuck is this script?
I have more.
Oh, is it the Dirty Dancing thing?
From the narrator, voiceover.
From the narrator?
He'd hoped to use the chemical to gain powers himself. Powers he'd use for good, like Elon Musk, but also for his own personal gain, like Elon Musk. But what use would it be now? Mojo wasn't cute. He didn't have sugar or spice or anything nice. He was just a plain old boring man.
I'm gonna kill myself, like right now on recording. You're gonna hear it.
No, you gotta make a monkey out of that monkey.
Okay, wait. Bubbles. Blossom's fine. I saw her Insta that she has a boyfriend. I saw on her LinkedIn that she got promoted, and I saw on Facebook that she still talks to Grandpa despite their political differences. Buttercup, coming back here is probably triggering for her. Bubbles, why? Because, I mean, okay, she's the one who killed... This is like... Okay, because when I first heard... I actually only found out that this live-action Powerpuff Girls thing was happening, like, last month.
I saw it trending on Tumblr, and I was like, what the fuck is
going
on?
I found it on Tumblr, too.
I'm not
like,
on Tumblr.
months ago. Cat, what the hell you want?
But, like, okay, because I first saw that leaked photo of them and, like, the outfits or whatever, and when I first saw that photo, my first thought process was it was going to be, like, a Kim Possible, like the live-action Kim Possible, where it's, like, a movie on the Disney Channel. I didn't know that they were doing, like, dark and edgy Powerpuff Girls.
I first heard that I think it was like Turk from Scrubs I heard was going to be Utonium, and I was like, okay, one, not exactly the guy I get to play Utonium. Two, they're doing a live-action Powerpuff
Can I
Girls?
also just say, dark and edgy Powerpuff Girls is just not a sentence that should have ever existed. Like, it was
Just like dark and edgy Winx Club. It doesn't work.
Can I just say this real quick? We had dark and edgy Powerpuff Girls. That was the original show where Bubbles got so angry she beat the shit out of Mojo Jojo to the point where he was near death.
In the same thing, him took over all of Townsville and the girls were on the moon. Him was about to fucking kill Professor Utonium on the steps of, like, the town hall in front of everybody. It was literal hell.
And it should have stopped there. CW shouldn't be doing this.
There's an episode where Powerpuff Girls, like, jump too forward in time to the point where, like, someone else took over, and they're like, where the hell were you? We all died because you left us. We all thought you were gonna save us. And it's
okay, because, like, it's just, oh, sorry, I was gonna say, no, I forget what I'm gonna say. Fuck, never mind, I'm sorry.
God. I love this.
You know what I hate about this? They're doing it to spark hatred like
Oh,
this.
yeah,
Probably.
absolutely.
Like, this was the main writers for this are two women, and I'm seeing a horrible trend of just women writing these horrible fucking shows. It was just like, seriously?
Okay.
We can do better.
I just found the worst line.
What's the worst line?
I just found the worst line.
What's the worst line?
Go ahead.
Bubbles.
Is it
Bubbles, continued. I always believed in you and defended you, Dad, even when you sold away our likeness to that cartoon, which, by the way, totally whitewashed us. Even then, I had your back. I always had a smile on my face. I never broke character, even though there was so much more to me. I always put family and the team first, no matter what. Did you miss the episode where Bubbles kicked the shit of Mojo Jojo near death?
They're doing the DMC Devil May Cry thing where, like, they make fun of his old hair and act like it was shitty.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing here. That's literally...
They're not respecting the source material. The same thing with the Devil May Cry, like, remake by Ninja Theory is just like, the person who made that game, when they were asked, okay, what do you feel about this game potentially alienating, like, old DMC fans? He's like, you know what? I don't really care. I don't give a fuck. like, Dante is supposed to be, like, this kind of hardcore, like, druggie from London or whatever. He's a demon hunter. He's not supposed to be Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
There's some things that just shouldn't be live action remade. They, like, there's always the argument of, like, you know what, people have run out of ideas and blah, 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 but that's always been the case. But that doesn't mean you need to reuse these old cartoons that, like, who asked for this?
Yeah.
Who asked for CW Powerpuff Girls?
Like,
Who?
The reboot, I can understand, even though Craig McCracken, by the way, he's against all that shit. He was against the original reboot, he was against all the reboots, he was most likely against this. And they're just, like, beating his...
If he was against the old reboots, there's no doubt in my mind he's against this.
Oh, yeah.
He's dead set about being against
Here's
that.
the thing.
Like, that original show was, like, so...
If y'all want to
It could
see...
get so real sometimes.
If y'all want to see a Powerpuff Girls, like, version of the show, where they're teenagers, and it's actually pretty okay, just look up Powerpuff Girls Z. It's okay.
Yeah, Z,
Yeah, that's
I
alright.
hear Z is good.
It's pretty
I
good.
wanna
Like,
see
I
Z.
don't mind it. It's pretty good.
And that sounds fascinating, because, like, Powerpuff Girls as anime Sailor Moon types, like, that sounds like a really interesting idea.
It worked well.
There are two jokes from Powerpuff Girls Z that I remember, and one of them is like because him was the main antagonist of that anime, right?
Yes, he showed up a little later in the
not
series, but
surprised.
he still was.
I remember there was a joke where, like, the professor says his name, but it's silent. But his, like, name is so terrifying that they're like, can we just call him or something?
Yeah.
And I remember this might have been from the original, but, like, one joke where, like, Mojo Jojo is at, like, a knockoff McDonald's, and he gets, like, 38 fries instead of the designated 40. And that's his, like, why he's evil that episode.
I don't remember that.
That
I
sounds
need
like
to
something
go back and
Mojo
watch
would
it.
do just in general. That just sounds like something Mojo would do.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I just found, like, another excerpt, like, from the script. Okay, and this one's a bit long, so just bear with me a bit, please. Narrator. Unlike our prodigal Powerpuffs, Mojo's son, Jojo, stayed in Townsville. Indeed, his dedication to the city has carried him all the way to the public office. He was the youngest person ever elected mayor of Townsville. Unfortunately for him, a second term looks unlikely. Jojo. I've delivered on everything. I promise except free gelato Fridays. And that's only because the perfect scoop turning out to be the perfect scoop turned out to be a front for meth trafficking. Then, exasperated, Alicia Lawrence has no experience. She's impulsive and reactionary. Gina, she's exciting. Jojo, you mean she's not a white man? Gina cringes.
Oh.
You know you hear about reverse No, it's not done yet. This is the last line. Jojo, you mean she's not a white man, parentheses. Gina cringes, end parentheses. You know you hear about reverse discrimination, but until it happens to you, parentheses offer, end parentheses. No offense, you totally earned your position. Optics don't hurt though. What was that?
I see what they're trying to do. It's so bad. No, stop.
It's like, oh, we pointed it out, guys, so it's okay. It's like, no, it's not.
Like, at least the reboot. Like, I saw a couple episodes of the reboot, and they were the episodes that were probably, like, the best of the reboot, because they were, like, normal. They were just Powerpuff Girls doing their thing.
Oh.
It wasn't, like, the unicorn episode, which I've heard
I haven't
horrible
heard of
things
that.
about. Oh, that's the one where they tackle transgender.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Oh no.
It doesn't end
no.
well.
Sorry, I just said ugh after you said transgender. I'm not. That was a very poorly timed ugh on my part. I apologize.
We are all
Don't
for
worry. I'm
trans
assuming you mean
rights here.
ugh
It's
to,
all
like,
good.
their
Yeah.
attempt to tackle this. But
Yeah, because here's my big issue with this script, in addition to just the fact that it's terrible, is the fact that it's very clearly being written by people who have no understanding of young people.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I know
No
that's what people
understanding
always
of
say,
people.
but, like, this in particular, I have never once in my life, like, outside of television, unironically heard someone refer to Instagram as Insta. I've never heard
Who
that.
does that?
Yeah, nobody calls
Or,
it
like,
that.
Does that?
Like, this feels
Yeah.
on par with, like, recently I was revisiting my hate for not necessarily, not so much Twilight, but there's a hate love there.
Sure.
But like 50 Shades of Grey and then 365 Days that I just discovered. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ.
I don't know what
like,
you're talking about. 365 Days is just like completely romantic. I don't know.
Will, don't play
Can I
with
just-
me, please.
I'm sorry, it's not.
But like,
I'm just.
I listened to like Amanda the Jedi, who was doing reviews.
Oh, she's
of,
great.
Like, oh yeah, she's awesome. But she was
fellow
doing
Canadian,
reviews
gotta
of-
represent her.
She was doing reviews of like the male retellings of all these stories, and it feels on par with this writing. Of just even the original trilogies feel on par with this writing. I'm just like, this is fucking horrible. Do you know how human beings talk?
I feel like some writers don't. Like, we just don't know.
Like, I know people love talking about how great, like, I think it was John Green that wrote this, but Looking for Alaska, like, they kept calling, like, I had to read it for school, and it's like one of the school books I had to read for school that I actually kind of hate. Like, it's one of the few. I quite liked most of the books I had to read, but, like, that one I didn't get, because, like, they kept saying, like, let's go over making edibles, and it took me, like, halfway to the book when they said I was eating chicken nuggets, and I'm like, oh, making edibles is like code for McDonald's. No one calls it that.
Who the hell
It's
calls
like, I
it
feel
that? What?
I felt a similar way with The Fault in Our Stars, which is like, I just didn't find it interesting. Even though
Yeah.
it was like I understand the appeal of it because it was probably one of the first books where they had two people that were not able-bodied or who were not just like who were not in perfect health condition that were the main characters of a story. And they got a movie and I was like, all right, cool, that's awesome. But I felt like the dialogue I didn't really care for.
Oh yeah, no.
The story I didn't really
And-
care for.
Because and again, going back to like Powerpuff Girls,
with
this
the
was
Powerpuff
like,
Girls
honestly,
series,
I'm fine with this actually just being like a full. Sorry, I'm fine with this being like a full like Powerpuff Girls thing. But the thing with this script is that like it feels like very I wish I would like worded this earlier when I brought this up, but like it feels almost like it's talking down to people.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
and it's like not every writer is Bo Burnham. No one can like criticize internet while also like with like a good understanding of it like he does.
He is a master.
Yeah.
You hear that, like-
100%.
Because you hear that like "Welcome to the Internet" song, and I'm like, yeah, no, this is like perfect
Mhm.
for what it's trying to do.
Yeah.
Like I don't feel like I'm being talked down to.
No, it's just a
I see
crazy
this,
Willy
and-
Wonka ride of like, no, this is what the internet
Yeah.
is, and it's insane, but here
Because
you go.
he's in it constantly and he knows he's a part of this, so he can make that commentary. This feels like a bunch
Yeah.
of like, and I hate to put this fucking label on boomers or whatever generations before us, like, I'm sorry, but like but it feels like, because I know a fair amount of people that are not like this, so I don't want to label it on all of them, but there is still a lot of people that still have this idea in their heads, just like, yeah, we know what millennials are like, yeah, we know what Gen Z are like, and then like pretend like they know about all this stuff that we talk about. And granted, sometimes we can be really fucking silly and really fucking ridiculous, but the fact that you don't understand the fact that you don't understand the nuance of even our generation, even if you don't want to view us as being as mature as you or whatever, you still have to have that level of understanding that there is still some nuance to us, and this clearly does not show it at all, that you understand or want to empathize with
I
our
also
type
get
of
the
generation.
feeling that they're doing it just to piss us off with the Powerpuff Girls one. Like, they know it'll spark hate.
This script feels like it was written by someone to embody the feeling of someone saying, oh, every millennial and Gen Z out there is entitled. Like, it has that energy of just shitting on a generation and like not giving a shit, not understanding.
Another great Cartoon Network show that perfectly captures this amazing world of Gumball has so many jokes where they are just like, you know, being a millennial isn't all it's cracked up to be. Our life kind of is gonna suck in the future because we can't afford a home because you raised the prices.
Oh, but they had
you
it
can't
harder.
get a job because you're still like going nuts.
They had to walk 2
And,
miles
like-
in the snow to get to school every fucking day.
Yeah.
It's always
And
it's
it's
always
like-
like,
Well,
my
guess
favorite.
what? If
Like,
you have abusive parents, you're probably gonna end up having to do the same thing anyway.
Yeah,
so,
wow.
it's all I always love it whenever like my parents do the whole like back in my day. I'm like, yeah, well, guess what? It's not then, it's now. So not really relevant.
Yeah, I'm sorry y'all are stuck in your past and you can't move on from your trauma, but you've burdened us with your trauma, so fuck off.
This is not the solution to...
Powerpuff Girls is not the solution to a generational gap. It's just not.
This, like, it is not the solution to spread hate. Like, I know I'm gonna go off and I'm gonna sound like fucking, I don't know, Care Bears for the next minute and a half, but like, you keep spreading hate like this. Hate leads to the fucking dark side, dumbasses. Like, you keep doing this, you're just gonna spread hate and fear, and no one's gonna like anyone, and we're all gonna launch the nukes, and the death rays will come, and we will all die. You can't keep spreading hate. It does nothing good. We need hate. We do. If we didn't have hate, we would have lost. If we didn't have hate, we would have lost all the wars. Hitler would have taken over. We'd all be in internment camps. Only like the blonde, blue-eyed kids probably will. I don't know what color.
Sorry, Will.
Sorry, Will.
Well, I don't.
They'd be away.
Wait.
Sorry, Will.
What
You'll
do
be
you-
forced to be a Nazi.
like-
I don't.
But I'm not though. I don't like them. Like one of my favorite games from the past 5 years was Wolfenstein 2.
Yeah, you get to kill Mega Hitler.
Hell yeah.
Well, no, but like you gotta actually. There's actually a really funny thing with Hitler where he's actually like, for some reason, he's like living on Venus in that game. It's absurd. It's absurd, but it's awesome. But, like, I'm not a Nazi. You know.
Wolfenstein is pretty much just Doom, but with Hitler.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
But I don't think I'm an. If I am, I would like to stop being one.
No, you're not.
How did we get from Powerpuffs to not
just
to
like-
Will might be a Nazi?
I don't know, but I'm gonna
Also,
get
why-
back to the point. I'm gonna get
Wait,
back to the point.
Wait. Why was I the go-to?
Because
Well,
you're
I
blonde.
don't know, blonde hair.
I'm not like I'm kind of. I'd say I'm more like dirty blonde, but I'm not like.
You're still
I don't have like a. I'm not like anime blonde where it's like ungodly
Nobody is
golden.
nobody is anime
I know
blonde.
you want to disassociate from your blondness, but
I actually had someone who thought I was like
no,
ginger.
I don't want to be blonde.
No,
Yeah.
don't make me.
I don't want to. Honestly, guys, I'm offended. I want my blonde representation, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Will, do you want me to
I
dye your
want-
hair?
You're gonna get it with Bubbles
Sure,
that
why
they
not?
turned basically into a drug
Yeah, they
addicted
turned
prostitute.
her into the slut.
I-
They turned like Buttercup is like the
Okay, that like
lesbian horror.
Very harmful stereotype on
I
so many
fucking-
levels.
I fucking wait. Did they actually? Are they actually? Because like are they actually making Bubbles a fucking like slut?
They're making
Yeah,
Bubbles.
there's like a bit where like
Yeah.
Oh my god. Why? 'Cause
there's like a bit where like the Ricky
That's-
kid from the original show said like you pawned off our wedding ring for drugs and like
that's
oh, that was you.
that's really weird to me that in like the first new adaptation of the show in a while. Well, keep in mind, with the exception of like Powerpuff Girls Z, every single thing I've seen for Powerpuff Girls, they're in like kindergarten, right?
Mhm.
So just to go from that to now she's like a prostitute is like that's a bit weird.
It is weird.
You know,
That's very
These
weird.
characters
Like-
are meant to be children. That is what those characters
But
are.
the thing is like
Yeah, but it's
you could do a like adaptation of Powerpuff Girls where they are older and do have
You
to do
can.
things.
But you don't have to
But
make it like adult.
the
You don't have to make it like.
Yeah, but you
second,
don't-
the second people start to do that, then they are going to be like, oh well, what if she's a slut, and oh well, what
Yeah.
if this one's I don't know, butch lesbian, and they're just gonna go like
Well,
the second
Which,
that
like-
it
It's not
becomes
how
a
you
question.
storytell.
well, that's the
It's
problem.
like, okay.
I'm gonna bring it back. I'm gonna still keep it in Powerpuff Girls relatively, but it's just like, it's just like these kinds of shows now, of just like every time a show comes out that is like already been reviewed as shittiest of the shitty, I'm just like, okay, I'm not gonna watch it. Because it's already been made clear that these people are mainly doing it for shock value. Like, have you heard the whole thing about Emily in Paris and how that was made? Of just like, it was pitched as a joke. It is one of the most like ignorant racist things ever. The person who made it literally said, "It's like, yeah, I didn't think it was gonna be made. This was just a joke." And this thing is going for like a second season or something. Meanwhile, we have actual shows that are genuinely good in their writing, that are trying their best to be put forward and be made. But we can rarely have that because instead we have all this shitty stuff that acts like sitcoms, and everyone's eating it up because they want to see the shitty media and then shit on the media, which adds more popularity to it. They don't care if it's negative.
It all comes back
what
to
they wanted,
it all
which
comes
is the
back to
views.
mixed hate.
Yeah. I don't want to stroke all of our own dicks or anything, right? But like, I know for a fact that all of us have read, or not read, like wrote pretty decent scripts. So if something get made by a joke, that's like offensive to me.
It really hurts to
It's
hear.
like,
It really does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I heard stories about like that Truth or Dare movie where the guy who pitched it literally went to the director and was like, "Hey, do you want to make a movie about Truth or Dare?" It's like, "Sure, what's the script?" "There is none. You're welcome." And that's how that movie happened.
That kills me inside.
Yeah, and it's just like, I don't... It's also just like the CW effect, I think, because I know... What channel was this originally supposed to be on? Because I know it got like
The
switched.
Powerpuff Girls?
Yeah, like the live action one, because I think it's...
I think it was CW.
Oh, I thought I heard that it was getting moved to CW, so it was on a different channel before that. But...
Probably like Adult Swim.
Yeah, but... Okay, sorry, I keep finding these funny little blurbs from the script. Bubbles. Look, we loved being Powerpuff Girls, but sometimes we wanted to be other things too. Like in Dirty Dancing, Baby wanted to join the Peace Corps, but she also wanted to be a fancy slut, and her dad didn't get it. And then some character named Drake chimes in and is just like, Jerry Orbach was doing his best to understand. And then it's just something about like CW shows. It's almost like they feel the need to be like, to try to be more important than they actually are.
Have you seen that one gorilla meme from was it Legend
Oh my God,
Tomorrow? Barack
Obama. It'll almost be an honor
to kill you.
Do you know how that scene continues? Yeah, okay, because I saw that. Okay, full disclosure, I used to watch like all those CW superhero shows until they like, look, I'm not really against like a show. I don't want to suggest that like I'm against like things being political, but like for something about like the way the CW superhero shows did it just came off as like really cringy and try hard. Yeah, like something happened with like Supergirl season 4 that just like, oh my god, they did this in season 1 and it was like not anywhere near as egregious as this. But like in Legends of Tomorrow, there's an episode where like not Barack Obama, that would be more funny, but like Gorilla Grodd goes back in time, and he goes back in time, and it's actually funny though because since we're talking about this, because like I also heard I listened to another podcast where they were talking about I was listening to another podcast where they were talking about Powerpuff Girls, and they brought up this scene with Gorilla Grodd and Barack Obama. Gorilla Grodd goes back in time to kill Barack Obama. Don't ask me why, I forget, but yeah, he just does. And then like Barack Obama's like, why don't we try talking? And then he's like Gorilla Grodd's like, Barack Obama, it'll almost be an honor killing you. But that scene only gets more ridiculous because, and I swear to God, this happened. He says this. I'm not making this up. Gorilla Grodd says to Barack Obama, I'm going to make America Grodd again.
No.
Oh my god. Yes!
Yeah, that's actually something that happens, and I could not stop laughing.
Okay.
Because it's just
And
like,
they're doing this with Gorilla
A
Grodd.
moment like
What
that.
happened,
Of
Cartoon
all
Network?
the
What the fuck are you
Yeah.
doing?
A moment like that I had that I just like, I realize it's probably very cringe, but just because of my love of like the Batman universe and all that shit, was in one of the later Gotham seasons. Fucking Penguin is running for mayor, but his whole thing is make Gotham great again, and I'm like, yeah, perfect time. It came out right when Trump was running. Like, it was beautiful.
When it's satire like that, I'm like, alright, I'm all for it. But like, it still shocks me that this is the same like network and company that at a point not that long ago had a shit fit over like Rebecca Sugar putting in a gay wedding in her show, even though like We Bare Bears has same-sex couples in their background art, and like now they're making this
I've
shit
heard,
like
That's the thing. Like, they always, like, apparently Owl House gets a lot of shit from Disney higher up, even though, like,
probably. Disney does not give a fuck about their shows anymore. Like, they've been having a recent trend of spoiling stuff on their own, on these shows, because they're not clearing stuff with the teams.
The Amphibia season finale got leaked, apparently, and, like, everyone was, like, really mad about that.
They were not clearing things with the teams for these shows when going out with the trailers to publish. So, like, a bunch of stuff for the season 2 of Owl House got spoiled. Amphibious season finale got spoiled. Like, and they don't give a shit. They don't care.
Yeah, which really sucks, because, like, we were just in, like, this golden age of, like, great cartoons. Because we had, like, Steven Universe, which, like, I have issues with, but still, like, a great show. We had, like, fucking
it's
Gravity
not perfect,
Falls.
but it's still a good show.
Goddamn Adventure Time! I've been getting a lot of Adventure Time clips, and they just finished up that whole Distant Land spin-off. I haven't seen the whole thing, but, like, the last one is all about Finn dealing with death, and the death of his friends, and the death of himself, and, like, this is a kid show, and there's episode, like, the Ice King is just one giant metaphor for Alzheimer's, and, like, losing those who you love, and this is a kid show about a boy and his magical dog, and it is more smarter than your dark-ass, gritty reboot, where you turn people into sex fiends, drug lords, shit like that. It's like, the children are smarter than you.
You don't need to be dark and, like, edgy in order to be mature and eloquent. You don't need it to make a point.
That's why, like, it pissed me off when, like, I know you guys liked talking to this guy, but when we were doing the pitch, and I was, like, telling this guy, like, I want to do a kid show that's more adult, and he's like, okay, so you want to babysit it? You want this show to be a babysit show? I'm like, no, I don't want that. And he's like, we just do sit shows. I'm like, that's not how you do kids.
Nick, I know you were so irked by that, man. But, like, from an outsider's perspective, that was two people very passionate, having a lot of miscommunication with each other. That's what that whole situation was.
Can I just quickly say, one of the greatest writers who ever lived, who always said this, fucking Rev W. Awdry, guy who did Thomas the Tank Engine. He always professed this, like, if you're going to entertain the kids, you have to entertain the adults reading the stories to them.
It's like, because how sad is it, really, that, like, there are a lot of shows that, like, they're family shows, but, like, they're called kid shows, that does, like, representation and all that better than most, like, live action, like, CW shows. Like, one of the greatest animated shows to come out of the past few years, and it pisses me off because no one talks about it, is The Dragon Prince on Netflix.
Oh my god, The Dragon Prince was so fucking good. I loved it.
Yeah. And
isn't that
in that show
Del Toro?
Pardon?
Isn't that Del Toro? No.
No. Yeah,
I'm
no.
thinking Troll Hunters,
yeah, no. I haven't seen it, but, like, Dragon Prince is made by the guys who did Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh,
and
there you go.
It like, with the Dragon Prince does, like, representation and stuff so well, because, like, there's a character who, mild spoiler, like, there's, like, a little girl queen, because her parents died, and her parents were just two women, and it's not like there was, like, a big fuss made about it. It's not like the bad guy was like, I mean, you know, two women as, like, the ruler, I mean, that's kind of whatever. Like, no, it's literally just two women loved each other, and that was it. It's not like there was, like, some big, like, fuss about it. And yeah. And
Captain Underpants has, like, a bit where they show, like, future Harold, like, the kid in Captain Underpants, is married to a guy, and he's just standing next to a guy while George is sitting next to his wife, and it's like, oh, he's gay. Good for him.
Yeah.
Like, he found himself.
It's not that hard. People always, like, I feel like people always make the excuse of what about the children for the shittiest things when they really don't care about the children. That is your shield.
The children are smarter than you.
Yeah, it's like that is your shield when you don't want to deal with your own shitty shit, or when you don't feel like changing.
I hate this whenever my parents bring up, like, the violent video games card. I'm always like, you know, that kid, think about it, that kid tricked his mother into buying him a game that he could not buy on his own. I think the kid is more intelligent.
And also, they say that it's like, okay, but what about you if you do these things? Or what about you when you watch these shows or these movies or the media that you consume? You are just as influenced by the world around you as children are.
Yeah. But I feel like, oh no,
Yeah.
sorry. I was just gonna say, like, bringing it back to like the CW for a second. I feel like with them, and because like, I don't necessarily feel this all the time at like doing like representation stuff. I don't always feel like, oh, it's just like a lazy cash grab. But something about like the way the CW does representation, like feels very like, I don't know how to describe it. It's just more like try hard. Yeah.
Yeah, they do it because the chart says gay people.
Yeah,
will
like
watch.
I remember the trailer for the Batwoman show with Ruby Rose, and I was actually kind of looking forward to that show because I like the character of Batwoman.
I like Ruby
and, you know,
Rose, yeah.
Yeah, but like in the trailer, they're just like they. Have you all seen the trailer for season 1 of Batwoman?
Yes.
Was it? I forget who the actress was, but it was a black woman who had. The...
No, that's season 2, but like season 1 was
season
like
2? Okay.
Yeah, because I don't know why, but like
Ruby Rose just didn't want to do the show anymore because it was fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
their shows aren't the greatest.
No, I mean that's putting it very lightly. Because like even the shows I used to like of theirs, I despise now. I think I brought this up like a couple episodes ago, but like I used to really love The Flash, but now it's just terrible, and I can't watch it anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's just like I don't like because like CW when it does it, it feels like almost like very finger waggy.
Yeah.
Like you have to like this. Like no, I don't.
It's also the fact of when they market this stuff, it's just like, sir, we have eyes. You don't have to act to be like, hey, look, there's a black person. Oh, they're a lesbian. They're a freaking avid lesbian. All they do is lesbian shit. It's like, we get it.
Yeah.
But now you've made it bad because you just basically made it a fetish. Like, congrats.
There was one scene in the Batwoman. I mean, there was a lot. But like one line in particular that like really rubbed me the wrong way. Where like she's like talking to Lucius Fox's son, and she's like about the bat suit, and she's like, I want you to tailor it for me. And he says, why would I do that? It's like it is like actually perfection. And she says it will be once it fits a woman. And I remember that line.
I hate that. Just kind of. That's not.
Yeah, because like. It would have been, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but like that line would have been so much cooler if she said, it will be once it fits me.
Yeah, why did you have to make it? Because that's actually a cool
line. It gives her some,
Why did you have to make it a woman
snark.
thing? Yeah.
It's just, like that, like, I don't know, just like the fact that they felt the need to say that is really like emblematic of a lot of their shows, I think.
Can I just also say, like, Japan, even though Japan has like more problems with actual like laws about LGBTs in their country, yet their anime and manga, as I said in, I think it was this episode or last, like Alita Battle Angel has like a character who starts out as a woman and then just shows up in a male body, and they're like, oh, so you're male now? And he's like, yeah. And they start using he nouns, and they start calling him him, and like, he's over there. And it's like, they do, and it's like, and you know, you see him as a male, and it's like, this fits him, because he is very like, short fuse, crazy hair, always got like that growl on his face,
it's sort
like
of
ready to go.
It's a way of subverting the trope of like general like aggressive male characters. However, it is within the context of someone who is trying to make the identity of being male for their own in the only way that they know, which is like these things.
That robot in Alita Battle Angel is a clone, and a big issue he has is trying to find his own reason to fight and not just copy Alita, who he's a clone of initially.
And it's just like, sorry, Erin, I know you wanted to say something.
No, it's okay.
Before, but I just want to like, and I might be a bit ignorant on this, so feel free to like correct me, because like I am, like, full disclosure to people who might not know, I am like the worst combination of things you can be. I am a straight white male, you know.
Boo.
Yeah, which disgusting. You know, don't worry. I'll be sure to you know, pander later. In my life, I promise.
We love Will very much.
We do. Like, he's a good one.
Yeah. Thank you.
He's a good one.
I'm one of them good ones.
He is.
Oh my god.
But yeah, no, like I bring that up because like maybe I'm not like maybe it's not necessarily like my place to say, but I feel like the reason why a lot of like representation is so like kind of poorly done is because they always feel like the need to make the fact that like let's take a gay character for example. It's almost like that character's whole character arc is that they're gay, and then that's it. That's their character trait.
That's the major problem.
It's why I really liked in Invincible, like the main character's best friend, whose name I also like because his name is also William. He's just gay. It's not like there's ever like a big fuss about it. I feel like people just want like their like race or like their sexual orientation to be just portrayed like normal people.
Yeah,
but they're always portrayed
course.
in these like unless it's like something where it's like unless it's something like the Point, or like I haven't seen the movie, but I know like Love, Simon. That's a movie about a kid coming out. So I would never say like, oh, they're trying too hard. No, because like that's what the story's about. But if it's like, I don't know,
But when it's
people,
not the
like
central focus of the plot, it shouldn't be made the central focus of the plot. Like, just let it be, a small, sure, I'm sure, like, if you have a gay character, their coming out is probably an integral part of their backstory. It's, some people had very traumatic coming out experiences. I was lucky. I did not. Everybody looked at me and were like, yeah, no, it makes sense you like women. And I'm like, okay, chill. But, like,
Fair.
People will start making these reboots and make such a big deal out of something that in the original source material, wasn't made a big deal out of. And
sometimes the diversity that you're trying to market or anything like that is built in, but clearly you did not respect the material, and diversity is not your goal here. What you really want to do is you just remake it so that the diversity that you're writing in fits you and is something that you are comfortable with, not what people actually want to see.
Can't I just bring it back to like just because I know like bring it back to like general like stupid shows that try and be dark and gray. Like I remember I Hate Everything's video on 13 Reasons Why really set me off, cause like he talked about how like it doesn't always have to be like normal kids in a normal school setting where every single one of them has like a different mental illness. You can have like a metaphor that represents, and my goal now is to mention my God in every single episode of this podcast, but God fucking Zilla is a metaphor for the rage and fury of America during World War II. And that is how Godzilla has always remained. Like, whenever he's an antagonist, he's always, like, in the right, technically. Because, like, it's always, like, he's angry because, like, he's been mutated by the humans. They've destroyed his home, and they've done shit to him. And he's just angry, and he's just telling you, like, you fucked up. You made your grave, now lie in it, and I will bury you.
Yeah. I'll say one thing about the whole grittiness of 13 Reasons Why. I was like, I know that was based off a book. I didn't read the fucking book. I watched the first season of 13 Reasons Why, and that's it. After that, I don't give a fuck what happens, because they literally ruined the whole point of that show. You should have just kept it at one season. Should have just kept it at that.
With 13 Reasons Why, because like, again, I only watched the first season and I dropped it because I fucking hated it.
To watch. And
but,
not
like,
because it was bad necessarily, but it did hurt to watch.
Yeah, because here's the thing with me about like 13 Reasons Why. I wouldn't hate 13 Reasons Why as much as I do if it just lasted that one season, because that first season, like, I don't think that, because the point of that show is that, like, suicide is bad, which hopefully most normal people can agree with.
Yes.
I think I speak for all of us here when I say we agree with that it's not a good thing.
If you are depressed, or if you are mentally ill, or if you suffer from a mental disability, like depression is a side effect, like, and you are having these thoughts,
God, go get the help.
Go get help. If you can't get help, find people around you that
if you think no one loves you, we love you.
Yeah.
At the very least, we do.
I would consensually give you a big fat. I would consensually give you a big fat smooch on the cheek, like a big sloppy one if you wanted, of course. But I would make you a cup of
tea and sit in silence with you if that's what you needed.
I'll be your hype man.
Hell yeah.
I'll hug your mom. I'll be like Adventure Time, the hug wolf. Like, I'll hug your mom.
Oh my god.
Can I?
But here's what. Oh, sorry. I keep interrupting Erin. Erin, you make your point.
Well, my point is kind of a closer, so will you go first, and then we'll wind down.
I would. All right. I was just gonna say, like, with 13 Reasons Why, the reason I wouldn't hate it as much as I do if it was just that one season is because even though like I don't think the point of like suicide not being the answer was conveyed very well in season 1 of that show at all. I think in that season 1 it's kind of portrayed as like, hey, people being shitty to you, just like kill yourself and like leave some tapes. That'll solve the problem. It's like, nah.
It glamorized it, and we have that problem a lot in media where suicide and depression is starting to become glorified and glamorized, and it's so heartbreaking.
My problem with what I've seen in 13 Reasons Why is, like, they glorify, like, you can't qualify as having depression unless you have fucked up parents, you have crazy thoughts, you want to shoot up. Yeah. Like, I've had an episode, and, like, I still have issues, but, like, my parents are lovely, and I love them. I love my family. I love my friends. I love everyone, and they're so helpful and supportive. I still had those times when I was ready to go.
And that's completely valid. Like...
Yeah. But with 13 Reasons Why, it's like...
you just hate yourself.
Oh my god, yeah, no.
Yeah.
There will be like 2 times a day where like I'm like playing a video game and I just think of like, why the fuck am I not doing something else? Like, why am I playing through Spider-Man for like the 10th time? Yeah, when I'm not like looking for a new job, even though like I have actually been looking for one recently and I've been like applying, but even so, I'm still like, why am I not doing that now? Even though again I have been, but it's just like it's not like it's kind of out of a lot of people's control. It's definitely out of my control a lot of time, but like, sorry, but because like, so yeah, I don't think that message was conveyed well at all in season 1, but I respect what the message was supposed to be, and if it was just left at that. Fair enough. I would have just left it as like a show I didn't like but never really talked about. But then they kept going, and it's like, why?
It's like we're gonna undo all of our work. The person who was supposed to be a villain through and through and is a rapist, we're making him a good guy now. Guess what?
I will say though that was kind of like I think I Hate Everything or some other YouTuber I saw made an interesting point of like someone trying to redeem themselves, but it's kind of pointless because doesn't that character end up getting like murdered?
Yeah, but it's also the fact of just like you deliberately painted the picture in season 1 that this man basically has sociopathic tendencies. He has no remorse for the actions that he's committed to multiple women. So why the fuck are you making him, trying to put him in a good light afterwards? On top of it, giving him like a love interest? Are you fucking crazy?
Oh my god, yeah.
What?
I don't.
I just know that like in terms of like redeeming an irredeemable character, that's kind of the reason why I like the Watchmen book over the movie, because the comedian is like a horrible person who did horrible things, but the whole like part of the big message of the book of Watchmen is that he really kind of was innocent in all of it. Like he didn't deserve to be killed. Like he was just a guy who he was trying to straighten out like near the end of his days, and that's like a huge twist to learn that like the comedian was actually trying to be better, and everyone you kind of like leave that state of shock, like people can change.
Yeah, it's not to say that like horrible characters aren't allowed to try and redeem themselves. Well, okay, it's not necessarily that I want the redemption.
Loki,
it's not that I want the redemption. I don't know what it's called, but it's like it's in a similar sense of how I feel about like fucking Endeavor in My Hero. I don't watch the show anymore. I know some of the spoilers from the manga. I'm not going to spoil anything, but like his whole thing is that he was a horrible man. All he cared about was his reputation. He forced a woman into marriage, abused her, forced her to have children, abused the children, and it's like he still didn't care by the time the show started up. But eventually he got to the point. Eventually he got to the point where his children have disconnected. Well, some of the children have disconnected from him. He's finally seen the damage that he has done to his own family, and he's taking responsibility. Does his family forgive him? Fuck no. In fact, he gets to the point where he's like, it would be best if they lived their happy life together without me in the picture. And that's the kind of thing that I want.
That's the key, like, I don't like him though, is the fact that there's quote unquote an attempt at redemption and all of that, where you're acknowledging the bad, and
You've done
you're
something bad,
trying
yeah.
to actually remedy it or move forward. And then there's just a lack of accountability where it's like, oh, well, everything bad that they did doesn't matter because they're doing okay things now. And
it's a lack of accountability from the universe,
Exactly.
especially, of just like, let's say in some scenarios, even if the character is like, yes, I did these bad things, I'm trying to change, and then everyone around them suddenly forgives them, or like the world is suddenly rewarding him, like, oh yeah, you didn't do, it was just a small joke, babe, you're fine, keep going, you're going great. It's like, no, that's not how the real world works, and you need to stop pushing this. It's just like, if you do a shitty thing, there is no guarantee whether a person will forgive you or not. Make that nuance clear.
Yeah, it's like it's on, like, people like get like canceled for like, it's always the wrong people being like canceled. Like, it's like, oh, James Gunn can't direct Guardians of the Galaxy 3 because of some shitty pedophile jokes he made 10 years ago. Gwyneth Paltrow is allowed to be in the new Avengers even though she's scamming millions of innocent and vulnerable people out of God knows how much money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, she's still doing it.
That woman does have a mental illness where her memory is extremely fragile. So, like, most of the time, I'm not even sure if the actions that she does are all of her own volition. So I will say half and half.
Mr. Bean and Terry Gilliam, I'm still pissed, where, like, got hashtags about, like, Terry Gilliam is canceled, Mr. Bean is canceled, because they said maybe cancel culture is kind of going a bit too far,
Yeah,
guys.
that's ridiculous.
And they were like, oh yeah, I liked it better when Mr. Bean didn't talk. That's my favorite thing about Mr. Bean. Like, fuck you. You've never seen Rowan Atkinson's amazing stand-up, you asshole.
Then you have like people like Seth Rogen who are like, oh no, you just gotta like deal with the fact that some of your words won't age well.
It's like, yeah, they won't age well, but like,
yeah, no
shit, that's the
you
world.
Won't know that.
It's
I'm
like
gonna
no
step
shit,
in here
time
only
exists.
because I know. I'm gonna step in only because I know you folks want a full kind of episode focusing on cancel culture and all of that stuff. So I'm just gonna put a pause here. That's the taster for future episodes to come. But I do want to get in my point. I want to bring it back to adaptations because this kind of started, or I made the point before we started recording about my initial fear about Cowboy Bebop getting a live action adaptation, and I want it on the record that anime, that one season, is one of my favorite works of art that ever exists. Like, I will worship that. It has its faults, I'm sure, everything does, but I rose-colored glasses for the anime. And my fear is what they're going to do with the character Gren. And now I don't know who is in charge of this live action adaptation. I don't know who the actors are. I hope they treat Gren right, because that character, it's not made a huge deal out of. They just get to go on and live their lives, and they're great. And I just want that to be fine and not to be made into a huge CW-style political piece. And that is my fear with the live action, amongst other things. I mean, Spike has to be great, and I know they're probably not going to fill the show with the amount of smoking the original anime had, but it would be great if they did, like, Peaky Blinders style. Everybody's always smoking. But we'll see. But I just want it to be good, and I'm so concerned that it will become Powerpuff Girls,
Yeah. Or like, because I know that the guy playing Jets in the show is a black guy.
Perfect, as it should be.
So I wonder if but I wonder if they're gonna, because like in the original, I'd have to. I hate that my mind goes here, but like I always wonder if they're gonna do like an episode like dealing with that.
I really hope they do.
Because the anime doesn't.
Really
the anime just lets it be, and Jet is a fantastic, hilarious character,
and I'll bring it back around to Powerpuff Girls for you, Nick. There is no doubt in my mind that there is going to be an episode of the live-action Powerpuff Girls where like that's entirely dedicated to Buttercup dealing with something racist.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I saw the picture and she's black. Yeah.
I'm
well,
I'm fine surprised. I guess I'm fine if you make her black, but the fact that you've made her a creepy lesbian person, a serial creepy lesbian who's she's a serial cheater and gay and a butch, and you've made her black. It's like, what the fuck?
Well, yeah, because you can't sleep with women. You can't sleep with women as a female if you're not a serial cheater. Hasn't media taught you anything?
Yeah. It's what rubbed me wrong though about like that Black Lightning show on CW, because it just like I don't want this again. I don't want this to come across as me being like, oh, you can never deal with stuff. Obviously, I don't think that's the case.
But you
I
have
would
to
never
deal
say
with
you
it
never do that.
respectfully and tastefully.
But like, yeah, and in Black Lightning, the second main like antagonist is literally just bald Trump, because in the season finale of season 1, the bad guy literally says, "I want to make America great again" twice, and it's like there's like no subtlety. Yeah, there's like no subtlety to it.
Well, here's the thing. With Black Lightning, I watched the first few episodes of just like, I can get people not being into it. Some of the writing is cringy, but I still feel like that is probably one of the closest that we will get to a show that addresses these problems within Black communities, at least, that a lot of people will get. But the thing is, it's dealt in a very extreme setting that, of course, it can still happen within Canada a lot, but you usually associate with, let's say, like communities within America and the problems that Black communities deal with from that. And it's just like, it's still okay. I still think that they do it well enough that at the very least, the demographic that they are trying to show this to will understand and will empathize, and that's what they want. And I think that's fine. Of course, again, I still do understand people not being into it and like having the subtlety, but I feel like you earn the right to not be subtle. Also, why the fuck would you be subtle? Because everyone knows what the hell you're talking about anyway. So
okay, yeah, you know what, that is that's fair enough. You know what, yeah, fair enough. But it's also like that's not the only issue. Can I just bring up?
We'll end with Will.
Okay, I want to end things on like a slightly lighter note. I just want to like one scene from the first episode of Black Lightning that cracks me up so much is like there's like a character named Loctavius who used to be like the main character's like student.
Okay.
And he's like a gangster now, or like in whenever that show takes place. Yeah. And there's a part where like the main character is like goes to visit him at some place, and he like the Loctavius guy like threatens a kid, and like what's the name of the main character, like Jefferson or something?
Something like that. Just call him Black Lightning.
Yeah, or there's like a scene where like Black Lightning is just like, Loctavius, no, and then he puts the gun to him and says, "My name's not Loctavius. I want you to call me by like my gang name or whatever." And the Black Lightning looks down, looks up at him, and in the most serious way ever just says, "La la."
Oh my god.
And I lost my shit because I'm like, Loctavius is so much more intimidating than Lala.
It really is.
Yeah.
I feel like that's
Isn't that a fucking Teletubby? Like, isn't Lala a Teletubby?
Yes.
Yo, Teletubbies are terrifying.
Teletubbies.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Remember, they had a baby trapped in a sun. Don't fuck with that.
Yeah. If some gangster came up to me and was like, "Tell your boss that like Lala is coming for him," I would laugh. I'd be like, "Okay, Lala, why don't you go back to your..."
Immediately.
No, for sure. But like,
my first thought will be the actual Teletubby Lala just in like a throne, money all around. He's got sunglasses on. He's got bitches on row.
Bitches for days.
No, but like
that is the like, CW shit I want. Teletubbies, give it to me. Give me the gritty ass.
Yes. Give me gritty Teletubbies.
Make one of the. No, I want like a CW Wiggles.
Oh my god.
Oh my fucking god.
Yeah. All right. On that note, bye. I don't want to hear it.
The point. Anyway, I'm gonna.
CW Magic School.
Stop.
Oh, fuck.
No.
I'm gonna. Okay, I know we need to end now, but I'm gonna end by summarizing this episode in one sentence. CW bad.
Amen.
Yes.
Agreed.
Make Miss Frizzle a serial lesbian. Anyways.
Do it, you cowards.
Dealing with like heroin issues.
Give her a harem.
Honestly, that would not shock me. Yeah. That would not shock me.
She has lesbian energy.
Yeah. Thank you everyone for joining.
Anyways, thank you everyone for joining this episode.
This was our
first something.
This was our first like mostly serious episode.
Was it really?
Was it serious?
So.
Are you sure?
I had a rant about hatred.
No, I mean like
I had a rant about
serious.
Hatred and love.
I mean like a serious topic, not necessarily being taken seriously, but like serious topics.
Sure.
That's true. But anyways, that has been all for today. Thank you for tuning in. Again, here with me, we have Will, also known as Salsaclubpresident. We have Erin.
Hello.
Erin, also known as Will, who is also Pages of Erin.
Yes.
I am
Spoiler alert,
hello.
Spoiler alert, I'm a voice actor voicing all of us, and I
All
actually
four
have the
people.
ability to have... Yeah, I have the ability to have two voices go at once. Kind of crazy.
Shit,
Like,
that means I can't
this
talk
isn't
about Black culture
edited.
anymore.
Yeah, this isn't
Damn it.
edited. I literally recorded this on Audacity and uploaded it at once.
Wow.
Yep.
Alright, bye.
This all happened. Yakuza.
Bye.
Wait, hold on.
But
We
I
forgot
wasn't
Nick.
mentioned.
No!
I'm the one who started this episode.
Yeah, also, we don't forget Nick, our dear boy, also known as cartoon nickname. Check out his stuff. Check out everyone's stuff. I am also Victoria, GhostyStuff. This has been a terrible
Go
outro,
watch
but
the
it doesn't
original
matter.
Powerpuff.
Yeah, go
Treat
watch
yourself.
the original
Treat
Powerpuff
yourself to
Girls.
some original Powerpuffs.
Go watch Bubbles beat the shit out of Mojo Jojo. Then watch Mojo Jojo start a language about the way he speaks. Then watch Mojo Jojo join a band with, like,
Okay.
Princess. And then, like, watch him be split apart from that band.
God damn it.
And, like, the greatest Beatles joke about Yoko joining ever.
Oh my Christ. Yeah, go watch the original Powerpuff Girls, go watch the original Wings Club, just don't watch the CW remix.
Don't forget to
yeah.
follow us on Insta and LinkedIn.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, don't forget.
And don't
That-
post our nudes.
We will post our nudes. I have them ready.